Hey, Jonathan here. I've got a question from Ashwin who asks, sort of a long one. I'm going to read just the key part. If I'm doing a productized service of food photography and I'm not promising a scope-related output, aka number of images, what kind of business output can I reliably promise to a client? Is there a way one can calculate the business outcome of a creative service like food photography? I'm currently doing fixed pricing after watching your videos and have definitely seen an increase in my profits, but one thing I still struggle with is the client's opinion about pictures, and I currently don't have a way of delivering a business outcome through photography, so I can't handle it the way you seem to for software projects where you price the business outcome. All right, so there's a lot going on here. Couple things. The first thing I can think of is when you do a productized service, which is a fixed scope service that you sell at a fixed price on your website. So for Ashwin's super duper premium food photography service, it's $1,000, let's say, and they can and people who visit your site or are recommended to your site or however they land on your site, they can take it or leave it. And what's going on there is value is completely subjective. How much is this pen worth to you? It's worth something different to you than it is to me. It's worth a lot to me. So I am going to pay more for that pen than anybody watching this is probably going to pay for this pen. It's totally subjective. So if someone gets to the site and they see $1,000 for premium food service photography or platinum or whatever I said, they're going to decide, is that worth it or not? And that's going to depend on how they value food photography. It's also going to be based on how famous you are, how well known you are, how trusted you are, how much of an authority you are in the space. So maybe that comes from looking at your portfolio. Maybe it's because you've got award-winning work, or maybe you've done work for a business that is way ahead of the person who's on your website. So in other words, it's a mom and pop pizza place and you did all the shots for, Domino's is my example, but I don't know if they have good food photography. But let's just say that, some mom and pop pizza place is thinking about getting professional. They're deciding to finally take the plunge, update their website. They want it to look good. They want the food to look delicious. And you've got this amazing list of clients who they wish they were like. They'd like to see their logo included with this list of other big pizza places or pizza places that they respect, Pizzeria Uno or whatever they're called. So in the case of a productized service, you don't have to talk about the value of the service. They either get it or they don't. That's the beauty of a productized service. It makes the sales process really easy. If you can drive the right kinds of people to the website through word of mouth or an email list or pay-per-click ads, whatever it is, if going to in-person meetups or doing trade association speaking gigs or something, and you can get in front of those people, the right people, they're going to say $1,000. That's a deal. Like for photos that look like this, or photos that have worked for these big brands that I envy or aspire to be. Yeah, we're ready to spend the best. We're making a leap with our business. We're going to go from one person place to a regional chain, or we're going to go from a regional chain into a national push. And the last thing we want to do is skimp on the food photography. So if you find somebody who's in that situation, they look at that price, they're going to say, wow, it's a no-brainer, no problem. So you don't have to worry about value pricing or articulating a business outcome from your photography in a case of a productized service. Another way that you can communicate the value in a credible way is to have testimonials from happy customers. So if you've done food photography for somebody else, another pizza place, let's say, and they say, and they give you a testimonial like Ashwin's photography transformed our business. We did a site redesign, and we believe that the photography had a huge impact on the increase in online ordering, something like that. Our upsells at checkout doubled as soon as we put the new photos on. So let your customers tell you, your past customers tell you what they valued, how much they valued, what was the business outcome of the photos. They wouldn't be paying you if they didn't think there was some outcome. There must be something. It's fine if it's totally subjective and totally intangible. That's what most things are. So, but if they're saying it in their own words, it becomes persuasive. If you're just saying it and you're writing it on your website, it's a lot less persuasive. So so what I'm saying is another way to increase potentially the value, the perceived value of this particular offering to new prospects or new clients is to have other clients, go get testimonials from past clients and say, well, I've got a list of testimonial questions you can ask. The first one is, what doubts did you have about this service in the first place? What reservations did you have about hiring Ashwin? And they can say, well, we were afraid it was going to have no effect. We were afraid we were going to spend a lot of money for, a bunch of pictures that did nothing for us. Like, oh, okay, that's a good answer. And then the next question is like, what was the benefit of having this service? And and you're working in a very intangible place. It's a very creative place, very sort of art, almost into the art realm. And they will be able to articulate why it mattered to them if they're satisfied. If they're satisfied customers, they will be able to articulate in some weird, squishy way why it mattered to them. And then when new prospects come along and they read that, it's going to resonate or it's not. Okay. Don't have a way of delivering a business outcome through photography. So I think I kind of answered both. Look, this stuff is super subjective. But if you've got people who are just super satisfied, if you've got clients who are incredibly satisfied with the output that you've delivered, ask them why. Why was that? Why are you happy? Well, because it has transformed our business. Really, you feel like it transformed the business? Like, what if you just shot these photos yourself? Oh, if we shot, that's what we did on our last website, and people just like, getting nauseous just browsing the checkout. So they will be able to tie it together. If they gave you money and they are happy, it means that they got an outcome that was worth more to them than the money they gave you. It's not rocket science. If they gave you $1,000 and they are super happy with the outcome, they will be able to, if you ask them the right questions, they'll be able to articulate why. And that why is going to matter to other people, certain other people who are kind of like that buyer. So you don't have to think hard about it and figure it out. Just ask and they'll be able to tell you. Okay, hope that helped. I am Jonathan Stark, and if you have a question for me, you can hashtag AskJonathan on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and we will add it to the queue. See ya.